Hey everybody, welcome back. Isaac looks weird. What's up with this? Hold up. There we go. Everything looks right. You didn't realize it looked wrong, but I was looking at my OBS and I was like, that boy ain't right. We're the Forgotten. It's fun. I'm basically like, I have a pretty obvious workflow here. Oh, you can leave, Tomo. Get out of here. Get out. I'm just kidding. I love that boy. And you can read the seed for yourself there. My workflow is pretty obvious. We're basically going to do Forgotten runs until the convergence. And what's the convergence? Well, it's a mythical era, a cosmic celestial event foretold in the Mayan prophecies and the Celestine Bible. When the backlog, you know, having not produced any videos on it for X amount of time, matches up with the new booster pack videos, and all of a sudden I can just transition straight from the backlog onto the booster pack, go back to one video a day. And if you're complaining about how long it gets there, or how long it takes to get there, I'm just here to let you know you don't even know what you're complaining about. Because you're getting 2 videos a day in the meantime. And these aren't 2 super mega baseball tournament of shame videos, okay? Where I turn on the microphone, the camera, the digital recording devices, proprietary of course, don't even ask. And then I just sit down, 30 runs, no big deal, right? All while bantering in our typical effortless and yet surprisingly erudite fashion. These are videos where I get up here for an hour and I bare my soul. I don't know where I'm going. I'm channeling a persona, I guess. Anyway, one day there will be a convergence. For now, guilt-free Forgotten runs, hoping we find some mythical synergies we've never seen before. Or at least continue to basically never lose because this character can't be defeated. Like a song by the Go Team. Alright, speaking of the Go Team, I was really hoping that'd be a speed upgrade. It would be kind of functional here, it would work well together, but that's okay. Alright, unfortunately our item room is on the other side of the map, but, you know, could be worse. We should really be breaking poops. Should I backtrack, or should I just keep breaking poops now? I always try to give you the, you know, the more underground Adele references. You know, before Rolling in the Deep, Set Fire to the Rain, etc., etc., she was merely one of the largest pop stars of all time. Oh my god, it's Holy Mantle. You know, back when she had Chasing Pavements, and then other songs that I honestly don't know the name of. Honestly, the reason I know Adele songs, and by Adele songs I mean a single Adele song from before Rolling in the Deep came out, is because I was watching a British television show, and you know Adele? She's a plus-size lady, okay? I'm just gonna say it. I'm not making fun of her for it. At all. But that was the gist of the joke that was on British TV. The joke was like, hey, she's chasing pavements, there must be a cake on the other end. And I was like, wow, that's just incredibly mean-spirited to a talented lady. I don't know why you have to be a jerk like that. I lost a lot of respect for just about everybody in England that day, to be honest with you. And I say that, it doesn't make me happy to say that because we're still under colonial rule here in Canada. But, you know, I've decided, I've gotten over the grudge a long time ago. I said, you know, that person, the 50-year-old with the dyed blonde mohawk, they don't represent all of England. So you know what? I'll let the grudge go if you let the grudge go. We can do this thanks to Holy Mantle. Alright, 5 cents. So that, I've always remembered the name of Chasing Pavements as a result of that. Plus I was like, honey, if you're chasing pavement, you're gonna have to release some slacker indie rock. Because you're not even close right now. You know, Stephen Malkmus had some dramatic moments, but, you know, you're not even halfway up the spiral stairs right now. I really thought I could bat that into secret room contention, but no big deal. Wow, you just walked right into it like a fool. Anyway, this run, you know, you've watched me play as this character before. An ability to replenish HP, and I should really, like, if we're going to focus on the extreme positives, and there are many, let me rephrase that to sound even more erudite. There are myriad. We have Yumheart, And Yum Heart actually seems like one of the items that would benefit the most from the new character, because Red Hearts are actually at a premium. No longer are they guaranteed to be shielded by Spirit Hearts. Instead, there's a little, you know, a little give and take depending on the way that you choose to play the character. Unfortunately for Yum Heart, a lot of its effectiveness is going to be dampened or obscured by the... Excuse me? I was like 100% confident. It's going to be dampened or obscured by the fact that we also have Holy Mantle, meaning very, very rarely are we going to take any damage here. So, Holy Mantle's one of those items. You know, if Brimstone shows up on a normal run, you can be like, I'm not going to take Brimstone. It would be too easy. Holy Mantle shows up, you're like, oh, yes. You know, it's not... It's so good. You don't want to be the guy who doesn't take that. Just foolish. Now, I really shouldn't have taken any damage here. I mean, technically, I did, and then I used Yum Heart to cover it up, but we didn't need to. Although it did speed things up, and speaking of which, there's a little caffeine pill to go along with us. Yeah, I mean, you gotta take Sacrificial Dagger. Luck upgrade. We should have taken that. One makes you small is actually bad, but not bad enough to, you know, cry about. But I was hoping it would be Balls of Steel and we could take Demon Baby as well. What is it, dude? The secret rooms. There's nothing I could have done. They're in weird locations, is what I'm getting at here. There's no way Curse of the Tower is going to be good. It could be not that bad because of our ability to bat bombs away from us. But there's just literally like no conceivable world in which that's good for us until we get Pyro, in which case it would be awesome, of course. But so let's wait, ideally, until we can get a Spirit Heart. And then we're good to go. Actually, we're already like more than good to go, and we do not even need a Spirit Heart. Because despite saying all that stuff, sometimes, you know, I have banter, and, you know, you're going to be aware of this already, for sure, if you've watched me for any length of time. Sometimes I say things related to the run in Isaac, and then I do something that contradicts what I said. You know, there's a bad, it's a permissions issue between, like, two halves of my brain. One half could be saying something, the other half can have essentially no idea of what's being said. You know, it needs to pass it to a web API, WCF microservice in order to... Just, every video's got to have one DAE in it, okay? Hey, speaking of DAE, does anybody else think we could use some damage right now? I'm gonna take this. Let's see what this synergy looks like. It looks like it's amazing. I went through so many emotions so quickly. You got to be careful, because when you conjure it, you can carry it room to room, which is scary. And it's still not nearly as much damage as just walking into enemies with Sack Dagger, but it's cool. And plus, we can swing without charging. Yeah, I'll take an attack fly, of course. We can swing without charging, and we got nothing to worry about there, you know? We could just treat it as a melee run if we want, but, you know, this is... Oh, jeez. It's pretty sweet. Oh, that one could have been actually kind of bad. Sack Dagger? You know, I don't know, if I'm being honest, Sack Dagger might be the item that over the course of my existence in The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and of course I'm going to use the bomb as much as possible. You know why I'm going to use the bomb as much as possible? Because it's sweet as heck, bud. Look at this. Look at this. The bomb also does contact damage, which is just hilarious. You know, you toss one over there, doink. Oh, sorry, that's our ball. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, it might be the item, no, my Eternal Heart, for which I've, my opinion of this item has improved more than my opinion of, oh, I got it with the, I'm getting so distracted here, but what I was gonna say is the Eternal Heart actually was on our Soul character, so I didn't lose my Eternal Heart, I just applied it to the wrong person to begin with, which is almost as bad, but not quite. And then the second thing I was gonna say is that Sack Dagger is the item for which I've probably gained the most respect for over my Isaac career. That's not to say that it's the best item in Rebirth, although it is very good. But it's an item that at first, you know, I had a little orbital fatigue for a long time. So I don't mean to speak French, but a little orbital fatigue. And you get Sack Dagger and you're like, it doesn't even shoot? What a waste. What a ripoff. And you realize it doesn't have to shoot. Don't have to tie my shoes to, when you can figure out the rest of the vine for yourself if you've been on the platform long enough. Oh, are you not a scholar? Let's move along here. Get charged up, ready to go. That's terrible. He could hit that right back into me. We gotta be, whoa, real cautious, dude. That went fine. And we're looking like a snack right now. I got confirmation that I'm able to say like a snack, by the way. It's the same thing. I got a written permission slip. I can say Yas Queen Slay. Many people have told me it's a-okay for me to do it. I'm going to keep doing it. I've added it to my vocabulary. I'm happy that I'm able to use it because you know what? The more tools you have at your disposal that you can use guilt-free, the more entertaining you can be. And, you know, that gives me a second joke. I'm really excited to work a second joke into my rotation. What's the first joke? It's a Boneheart. That's my first joke. My first and only. So, you know, it's pretty exciting for me to be able to get another joke. It's like, you know, in the Friends theme song, they go, the Rembrandts, that classic band, better than the Beatles, they go, it's like you're always stuck in second gear. That was I finally got to second gear, so I'm like, man, these guys are ahead of me. I gotta admit, you know, I've been, I don't mean to brag, but I've been trying to do a little physical exercise so my heart doesn't explode when I'm 32, ideally. If I have 35 would be nice. Somewhere in that range at the very least. And there have been times, you know, you're going up a big hill. That song, and this is actually not manufactured. This is real. Some of the stuff I say is manufactured for humor's sake. It's the, you know, the comedian's code that I've been borrowing as someone who is not a comedian but wants to be funny sometimes without deserving it. Or without having earned it, I should say. Sometimes I'll be going up a big hill. And I remember they're like you're always stuck in second gear. And I'm like, I'm in first gear. And my chest hurts. Why are the Rembrandts making me feel so bad? When it hasn't been your day or week or month or even your year. Seems like it's a like pretty sunny view of actually like having hit a rut in your life, right? Like I've been relatively blessed. For real, and we're getting into like pseudo real talk, I guess, but you know, I work in an industry that from the outside seems very easy. What the heck, dude? And it's kind of like a dream job, and it is on the inside. I'll just level with you. It's also oftentimes very easy, but for whatever reason, a lot of content creators, maybe it's some combination of poor diet, lack of exercise, complete isolation, reading anonymous comments about you at all times on the internet, you know, having an unsteady income that changes month to month, which can sometimes be awesome and sometimes be terrible. You know, you get the idea, all the stress that comes along with that. You know, we got a lot of mental illness in this industry. I'm just telling it like I see it. So when the Rembrandts are like, or even your year, I'm like, dude, it's not that bad. I feel like we need a redux. Ooh, honestly, I'm going to stay with Yumhart. We need like a 2018 version of that song. When it hasn't been your day or week or month or even your year, or maybe 18 months or 2 years, or maybe since ever you graduated from college and then you haven't got it figured out, but no one else does either, and I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'm just saying, like, one bad year. It's not good. Obviously, it's right there in the name. Bad year. But, the Rembrandt song, and I get that it's just, you know, it's a silly pop song. I'm over analyzing it, but that's kind of my bread and butter. Seems like, you know, January 1st, bad day. December 31st, bad day. January 1st of the next year, I'll be there. You're dancing in front of a fountain in Central Park. I would rather have the range upgrade, please. Even if it is minor. And straight up, give me that ability to fly. That also comes with a speed upgrade. And let's move along here. We're like right on pace for boss rush. Feeling good. Oh, well, not feeling great because I just got back from a bike ride. And, you know, I don't go through that. I don't have exercise euphoria like some other people do. I have like exercise is really like it's not. I don't want to pretend. I think like, you know, it would be doing a disservice to pretend that it's torture, because there is some pleasure in it, but there's times when it's a little torturous. I don't know, dude. Sometimes I wonder, okay, like, and again, as long as we're in real talk, like once every 8 Isaac episodes is real talk. I worry, okay, and worry is not the. I mostly, you know, in Drake's song, it says, you know, she said, "Do you love me?" I said, "Only partly. I only love my mama and my bed, girl. I'm sorry." That's like I only really worry about myself, and I know that's important to say, but like I have concern about friends sometimes, but I don't like lay up at night going, "Oh, is Nick feeling okay?" after I'd absolutely demolished him in the Tournament of Shame. I'm sorry to say it. That once the game was over, never entered my mind again. Dude, Jar of Flies is so good, but we need this, and then we'll figure out what comes after that. I don't know if we need this, but you know, I worry that sometimes, and I want to point out before I start with this, that I'm coming at this from a extreme place of ignorance, and I am not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist or anybody that works in that side of the business, okay? The business of life. But I oftentimes see, like, people bragging about being garbage on Twitter, and I think I've been guilty about it as well. And be like, anybody else eat a whole pizza yesterday? Ha ha ha, isn't that funny? Well, yeah, like it is. And it's also delicious, and I've done it probably like half a dozen times throughout my life. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of them have been smaller pizzas than others. I'm not talking about a personal pizza. Definitely there were a couple times in Korea you wake up, you know, after a particularly late night, you go order a pizza, you come back to your apartment, and your body is just, it has an endless hunger for nutrition, right? And it's just like, you have leached so many B vitamins out of me. You need to eat this whole pizza. There was one time, I ate a whole pizza. This is when I lived in Korea. I was also like 22, so a little on the younger side relative to now. I ate a whole pizza, and after, I was hungry. I'm not, and this has never happened to me before or since that moment. I'm not saying I could eat. I was hungry. Like, I need to eat. I think I just went to bed. That was roughly how my life was back then. But, I don't know. I kind of, if you're watching one of these YouTubers, myself included, who's, you know, glorifying this garbage lifestyle, get out, dude, while you still got the chance. Like, I wonder, okay, and this is where it's going to become controversial, and you're going to think that I'm being a jerk. I want to be clear. If I'm being a jerk, and that's not up to me to say what, that's okay. It's not up to me to say whether or not I'm being a jerk. It's up to you. But I'm coming at this from a wholesome place. I see, sometimes, people on Twitter, they always talk about self-care. They're always like, take a day for self-care. Take a day for you. And I'm always wondering, like, what does a self-care day entail? Because what I would think it would entail is, you know, treating yourself right. Getting a little exercise, you know, taking a nap, restoring your mental state. Maybe you take a day off from work and you knock out something in your personal life that's causing you some problems. And what I actually see most of the time when you're like, what'd you do on your self-care day? And they're like, I watched like 18 hours of Netflix. And I'm like, I'm picturing, and this is how, now I'm being callous. You know, the meme is like, the dude is a classic meme from last year. Still prevalent today. There's a dude and his girlfriend, and they're walking, and then he's looking back because there's another girl who's caught his eye. And his girlfriend is looking at him like, really? You know it. After having described it, you know it, okay? And then, in my head, it's like the dude He has a little caption under him, a little meme caption that says Twitter user, taking a day to self-care. And then his girlfriend is actual self-care, exercise, hydration, taking a nap, calling your mom, going out with your friend, reminding yourself that people love you. And then the other one is sitting in your pajamas watching Netflix, which I do all the time, by the way. I don't take too many days and watch, like, 8 hours of Netflix shows, no question. It doesn't happen very often anymore. There are days where I'm just like, I don't want to be productive today. Luckily, and, it's nice to be in this position, admittedly, but most of the time I got enough in the tank where I can just do it. But the caveat is that I have enough in the tank because I don't do it very often. So you see the catch-22 there. It's not really luck. It's mostly that I've been doing it forever. So, some of these backlog videos are just 2016 working a kink out. So again, I don't know. If you work in the therapy business, and I don't want to be callous and say it's just a business, but I mean, like, if you work on that side of the industry, what do you think? Or what do you know, I guess? What is your conventional wisdom telling you? Is that effective in treating mental illness? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I still think, like, there's room in this business, like, for a streamer dad and a streamer mom. What I want to do is so the YouTube thing and the Twitch thing, they're going great until this video comes out and everyone thinks that I'm admonishing mental illness, which I'm not. Quite the opposite. And then, like, Putinir, I'm going to get in. I'm probably going to Series B fund Putinir, I think, so that I can get some... I don't really want, like, controlling shares, but, I want to be on the board. I mean, who doesn't? This is trash right there. And grab this. And also trash, so we'll just leave, dude. So then, that's like, the billions come in. And after that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an outreach program. This already exists in hockey. Like, in the junior hockey leagues in Ontario, you get these kids, they come over from Sweden, Finland, even, like, on a more domestic sense. They get drafted by Windsor, but they grew up in Belleville. So, they're 15, 16 years old, and they're going to play hockey in a town that's 6 hours away. That's pretty crazy, to be honest with you. And I mean, many of you out there, I forget what... I know, obviously it's a Tears Up, but we're at the cap. What the heck is this? It's another Tears Up. Okay, and then you get the missing poster, or the lost page, or whatever the heck you want to call it. It's pretty crazy. I lived in a college dorm room when I was 17. And I lived with a bunch of friends from, like, 18 to 21. I lived on my own in Korea. I owe you this one, I think. I lived on my own in Korea 21, 22, I think. But even then, that's young. But to live in, like, away from your parents when you're 15, 16, it's not common, let's put it that way. So they have, like, these setups where basically a family that lives in the city where the kid got drafted, that might have been a good time to take a rune bag, to be honest, they'll bill it, basically, or they'll let a kid bill it with them. So they provide the meals, and they make sure the kid gets to school on time, and etc. I should have taken that as the soul. Still some kinks to work out here. Etc., etc., etc. We need that, but for streamers. And you're going to think I'm joking, and I am, but only like a little bit. There needs... Oh, what a waste. I really think like a streamer mom and a streamer dad setup could work. Not for everybody. Not everybody needs it. Lord knows I would hate it. And that's not to say that I got my life completely sorted out. There are times when it'd be nice, honestly. But I'm definitely in the phase where, like, when I make a mistake, I'm like, it's a necessary signpost on the road to real adulthood, which I suppose never really exists. But some of these streamers, they're coming out of high school, and they're making 6 figures a year playing video games. They're missing out on all these life skills. And I'm not admonishing them at all. I mean, who among us, if they had the opportunity, they're like, hey, you want to pay, like, especially if you live in the U.S., 30 grand a year to go to college for something that doesn't even necessarily, in a lot of cases, guarantee, good standard of living, especially nowadays? Or do you want to just get paid, like, way too much money to play video games? It's an obvious decision, right? But we need to start supporting these young adults. Have them move in with, a streamer family that gives them the privacy they should be afforded as young adults. But it's also like, you know, hey, here's, like, I'm gonna foster you like a mother bird on the way to real adulthood. I'm not saying it will, but just in case this whole streaming thing blows up someday, you might need some of these life skills, because we're living in this Twitch bubble that doesn't exist for people outside of it. You know, I think it would be useful. And I don't know, I haven't thought about how to monetize it yet. 50% of every subscription goes to the host family. That's my thinking right now. What do you mean that's egregious? What, you don't like winning? I don't know. Again, I don't want to present it like I have all the answers, because it's clearly not the case. You know, I go through stuff in my life as well, but I don't know. I guess I don't know where I'm coming from without being callous. Part of it is an attempt to understand, admittedly. Because I'm like, what do you mean you felt bad, so you spent a day doing the things that might have led you to feel bad in the first place? I don't get it. But maybe it's not for me to get. That's just what I gotta accept. Well, thank God permanent Polaroid invincibility exists, because I'm getting my butt kicked here. I want to point out that even though I don't understand it, it doesn't mean I'm not, you know, I'm not against it. Like, I've had this conversation with my parents a few times, and I'm not totally sure where I stand, but there was this story about, like, young adults at the local university in my hometown. They have, like, a room where you can just go and color. Like, if the world feels like it's too much for you, you can go down, sit, color in the coloring book. And I have to admit, you know, first time I heard about this, they took my bone heart. I was like, these are like 20-year-olds, right? And the answer to that question is yeah. And I brought it up in our Skype group. I brought it up, and I was like, what do you guys think about this? Because, you know, some of you, you know, hew a little bit different on the social or political scale than I am. Not too much different, but, like, you know, I want to make sure I'm getting opposing viewpoints, not just reinforcing my own. Here's looking at you, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, etc., of all walks of life. But anyway, no, dude, this. Why would you ever fight Hush, you idiot? Let me out. Ah! What a terrible performance. I deserve this. Remember, after this, we get Holy Mantle back. And I gotta be honest, I was definitely the one on the callous side. For sure. A lot of other people, you know, I'm not gonna name names because maybe they prefer for it not to be out there. They were like, who cares if these kids color? You know, if it makes them feel therapeutic, or they feel like it's a therapeutic act, why shouldn't they do it? And you're right. Why shouldn't they? Who am I to say? But then I think it's because, well, maybe it's because I'm a jerk. And I'll admit, I'll say it so you don't have to. Maybe it's because I've been lucky. And I never forget that. You might disbelieve this, but I know I've been very lucky in life. I'm basically talentless. I'm working to improve that, but I sit down in front of this microphone and I talk into it, and people like it. That's crazy. I have no skills. Or at least when I started to get popular, I had no skills. Now I could probably work as, like, I could work in a software development company bringing somebody coffee, you know, and then just wait for my Goodwill Hunting moment. Have you tried using a for each loop? My God. How does the title CEO strike you? But anyway, so I think because, you know, I've reached a level of success in my life that is highly unexpected, it's very common for that to make people callous and be like, well, why doesn't everybody just get lucky, you know? You see it happen to people all the time. I try to keep it in my back pocket that, you know, it's basically just for the grace of, like, you know, I don't necessarily believe in a higher power, but it's just a lucky dice roll that put me in this position instead of being in a much worse position. Who knows? These 700 whatever thousand subscribers, they could just be added on to Markiplier's total in an alternate multiverse, right? So, like, I'm very happy with my lot in life, and I try not to let it make me callous. But when I saw that article, I'll admit, and it's a little dark side, but there's a little part of me that's like, you know, when you face a stress in your life, you can't just distract yourself away from it forever. You know, I think, like, I'm trying to avoid being preachy, and I can't just say I don't have all the answers 100 times, because it's going to repeat itself so much that people are going to laugh. But, like, you know, I think it's kind of an important part of your personal growth as a human being, that when you face stress, you know, you grow from it. You don't have to face it head on. You know, I can be an avoidant person for sure, but you gotta lean into the pain a little bit sometimes. Now, admittedly, I've never dealt with truly heinous stuff in my life, so I've been lucky in that regard as well. Maybe then I'd be going to the Barnes & Noble, give me all your coloring books. So it's just food for thought, really. This is not me trying to push my stance on anybody. It's more like I'm still trying to figure out where I stand. You know, it's different times, and I do stand on the side of, like, you know, to some extent, let people do whatever they want. If they want to color and they feel like that makes them feel better, let them color. You know, it's not like people in college don't have other ways to reduce stress that they've been using that are probably way more harmful. So yeah, you know what I mean. That's how I know I'm a genius, because I just convinced myself of the opposite opinion. Sucks when that happens. You've been railing about it for so long. I guess I do. I find myself... I'm like, is the next generation getting soft? And I need somebody every now and then to be like, what are you talking about? You didn't... What did you do? I didn't do anything. I can't be railing about the next generation getting soft. I went to kindergarten, public school, elementary school, well, middle school, high school, university. I worked for a year at a job that I basically got because I was born in an English-speaking country and had a university degree. And then I started playing video games for a living, and I'm going to rail on the next generation for being wusses? What am I talking about? What an idiot. All right. Hey, you know, I feel like 5 years younger already. I just staved off like a half decade of old dude thinking. That's sick. I'm reborn, live on camera here. How did that happen? I gotta go for bike rides more often. Why am I holding the world card? It's like I've finally awoken to all the mistakes I've ever made in Isaac. Why am I holding the world card when I have the mind? Literally any other card could at least provide me with some kind of movement. It's a new era. Hopefully that doesn't mean we start losing. It's a new era. Anyway, so I've been reborn over the course of the last 33 minutes. I'm feeling good. My new name is Moonbeam. See, that's a joke. That's offensive to people named Moonbeam. And the new NL shouldn't be doing that. I'll admit. Do you guys live in cities where yoga is, like, insanely popular? I know it's popular worldwide, but I mean, like, seeing people with yoga mats on their backpacks at the gym, or sorry, at the grocery store. Literally the opposite of the gym all the time. I don't know, yoga is crazy to me, man. I'm not saying, again, I'm not judging the yogis. I'm just amazed. I'm pretty sure that in Vancouver, there's like a 20% opt-in rate on yoga. I wouldn't be surprised if 1/5 of the adult population here owns a yoga mat. And I'm including everybody. I'm including incarcerated individuals. You know, the homeless and destitute. It's everywhere. What's the appeal of yoga? And I'm asking this earnestly. I hope that if you've watched these videos enough, you know that I do approach other people's interests that I don't understand with earnest. I want to know what people really like about it. You know, if you're gonna tell me, you know, you ride Razor scooters, I want to know what it is about Razor scooters that makes you tick. And then behind your back, maybe I'll be like, I was talking to this moron who loves Razor scooters. No, he wasn't 14. Anyway. Hey, Slagather. Thanks for the subscription. It's not like I was about to do an outro or something and the nerve of some people to interrupt me, make me stay at work for another 15 seconds to thank you for your contribution. Jeez. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe more if you want to see, or subscribe if you want to see more in the future, I should say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.